as part of Kuwait Cultural Week in the United Kingdom. Coinciding with the 125 years of Kuwaiti-British partnership celebrations, the State of Kuwait Embassy in London starts today as the center for the celebration of Kuwaiti culture and the strong ties between Kuwait and the United Kingdom. The event will take place at the Kuwaiti Embassy in London and will run until September 6th. Currently joining us, our correspondent Abdullah Al-Ajmi from the Kuwait National Library. Abdullah, after a warm welcome, of course, can you describe the atmosphere of the event that you're attending right now?
Yes, Imran. First of all, good evening to you and to Maha and everyone else at the studio. Currently, we are at Kuwait National Library, where the NCCAL, which is the National Council for Culture, Arts and Literature, are celebrating the bilateral ties with the United Kingdom, which have now entered a new era of 125 years of history connecting our two countries. And to mark this landmark of 125 years, the NCCAL also are holding in the National Library an exhibition showcasing many different artifacts and pieces of history that connects Kuwait with the United Kingdom. And actually, for further details, I have with me today Yahya, the researcher and expert in the Kuwait-UK relations and history. Mr. Deshti, we know today you are going to have a lecture today here in the National Library. Can you tell us the details of the lecture and what are the highlights of the lecture?
First, thank you. You are most welcome here in the National Library of Kuwait. Today I do my 9th event that's under the main title, the 125 years of the partnership between Kuwait and United Kingdom. Today I will give a lecture. It's about the Kuwaiti-British milestone stations. I will tell the story by previous story when the real beginning between Kuwait and Britain in 1775, especially when the post line exchanges that come from the Gulf. In the past it's sent to Basra and Zubair, and after that it be sent to Kuwait. I will give a brief of this story that most of people that didn't know it, that our relation it's oldest than 1899, and I will start after that the lecture. I'll speak about when our officially diplomatic relation between UK and Kuwait start in 1989 with the Anglo-Kuwait agreement, and after that I will speak brief about the royal visits and the Amiri visits between the two countries, and what these visits it's done for the relation and how it's reflect about our relation, and what's the aim of the historical visits between the royal family in the United Kingdom and the ruler family here in Kuwait, and also the high diplomatic persons from the British government in the British Empire period when they are come to Kuwait, and what the reports or the remarks they are wrote about Kuwait in that time.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today and giving us a detailed answer of the question I asked. Thank you so much, Mr. Yahya Deshti, for being with us today. And you heard it from Yahya Deshti, expert and a researcher in the Kuwait-British relations. And now,
Thank you, Abdullah, for joining us. That was our correspondent Abdullah Al-Ajmi covering the events live from the Kuwait National Library.
We're going to move to our correspondent Abdullah Al-Ajmi at the National Library with a special guest to tell us more about the Cultural Week event. Abdullah?
Yes, Yusuf, I'm with you.
Abdullah, can you share more on the latest updates and what's going on at the Cultural Center currently?
Actually, we're still here. Yes, Yusuf, thank you for having me today. We're still here at the National Library celebrating the 125 years of relations with the United Kingdom, and we just finished listening to a lecture by the British Kuwait relations expert and researcher Yahya Deshti, talking to us about the different milestones that have been through with the United Kingdom. And for further details, I have with me today Stewart Sumers. M.B.E. and Charge d'Affaires at the British Embassy in Kuwait. Mr. Summers, we've just finished listening to the lecture. Can you tell us what stood out for you during the lecture, from the milestones of the Kuwait and UK relationship?
Well, I think, you know, it was a really interesting lecture, and it just demonstrated the length and enduring relationship that the UK and Kuwait enjoy. And obviously there's been many important milestones to choose from, and 1961 being an important, if not the most important one, but also obviously given the year we're in, 1899, when we signed the first Anglo-Kuwaiti agreement which set up diplomatic relations between our countries, which I think, you know, was the one that stands out for me this particular year, given the year that we're in. But other ones also, I think, stood out. The mention of the political and sort of military support during the liberation of Kuwait. Other aspects that we are just about a year since the visit by His Highness the Emir to London, where we saw him signing an important investment agreement, and also which itself marked the 70th anniversary of the foundation of the Kuwait Fund in London. So I think lots of milestones within milestones.
Thank you for your detailed answer, Mr. Summers. One more question. We know that the UK Cultural Week in Kuwait is coming up soon. Can you tell us what can we anticipate during this event?
Well, thank you. I mean, I would say today also marks the start of the Cultural Week in London, where the ambassador is at the moment, enjoying some interesting events organised by your embassy in London. Ours is on the 10th of November, the week beginning of the 10th of November. We have quite a few exciting events still planned. We're still working through the details. But one thing I would say, you know, one exciting event is the visit by the Royal Philharmonic Concert Orchestra that I think our Kuwaiti partners here have put on, and who are having 3 nights of events at the Jack. And I'd encourage everyone to check out our social media pages, UK and Kuwait, for further details as we get closer to that date.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Summers, for being with us on this live stream. It was an honor having you with us.
Thank you very much.
Today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you've heard it from Mr. Summers, the Charge d'Affaires in the British Embassy in Kuwait. And with that, I will hope that we will have more years to come with a good relationship with the UK and Kuwait. Now back to you, Yusuf, in the studio.
Thank you, Abdullah, and thank you, Mr. Summers. I'm looking forward actually to know more about the lecture that you were in during our phone call after the show. Thank you, Abdullah.